Hello everyone and welcome back to Let's Play Shattered Sky. Now, the next episode we're going to be doing is going to be for the Heaven mode. Now, Heaven mode is going to be a bit different. A lot different actually than Extra and Phantasm. It isn't just Phantasm but harder. It's a completely remade, completely unique stage, completely unique boss. Now, yeah, I just wanted to say that before we jump into it. I'm also gonna say that this stage is really, really, really hard. It is not a stage which is meant to be no miss, no bombed, maybe not even no bombed. It is not about that. It's more, the way I look at this stage, Heaven mode is really just kind of like a homage stage, and I will explain more about that later, and you'll see what I mean once we go into it. So I'd like to preface by saying that for Heaven mode, I would recommend you not really look at this as necessarily a stage where you need to like do your best, but rather as a stage that you just kind of enjoy for what it has. All the references and callbacks and all the cool little things that it has. So yeah. I'm going to be using Sane because we haven't seen her yet, and I will be using the first one, the one with the Wily Toad, because that's my preferred one. Oh wait, no, actually, I don't want to use that one. No, no, no. For this stage in particular, I want to be using the one with the cobalt spread. My bad, my bad, my bad. Yeah. The reason why I was actually going to go as Sane is because the stage portion itself is really, really hard. So, I use Sane cobalt spread because her frogs are very, very, very good at this stage. In fact, if you were to do the crazy task of no miss no bomb, which I don't even think is possible, and I'm not being ironic about that either, you would want to use Sane B because of her spread. So yeah, as you can see, as I've said before, this stage is not just Phantasm remixed. This is its own thing, own unique thing. To unlock Heaven, essentially you have to have cleared Lunatic and cleared Phantasm. Now, one cool thing about this game is that you don't have to beat like Sane specifically to get Sane for Extra, Phantasm, or Heaven, or Marissa for that matter. All you gotta do is have beaten it. Like, the unlock is basically for all characters. There's no difference between the characters, so that's really cool. Now, yeah, I actually am not very good at the Heaven stage portion itself, so I can tell you though that this part right here is aimed, so keep that in mind. It looks all scary, but it's actually just streaming, and it's actually really simple streaming too. And you might notice something actually. There's no vortexes in this stage. Yeah, they were just not put in because, like, well, look at the stage. Like, disregarding Heaven and Phantasm, disregarding Phantasm and Extra, there would be no point for vortexes in this stage, simply because, like, you know, you never get to use them. The stage is very, very dense. It's made that way on purpose, so, the vortexes are being forgoed this time, because there's just no need or practical use for them, which means there's really no scoring in this stage, but, like, as I said before, Heaven mode isn't really a stage about, you know, getting the best score or, you know, getting those perfect clears. It really is just a stage that is just meant to kind of take in, you know. Oh, I almost captured that. I thought that fairy was impossible, but it's probably not. There's probably a way to do it. I was onto something there. I was onto something. Regardless. Yeah, and I don't have too much explanations to give because, truth be told, I didn't actually play Heaven that much. Like, I did runs through it, of course, during the development, but I didn't really go as far as to make too many strategies, simply because I didn't really see there was a point, you know, with the way Heaven works, you know, it's kind of just how it is. And it's a very long stage too. Very, 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 very long. And Yukari is our mid-boss. She's actually a really awesome mid-boss. I like Yukari. And she warns us about a twisted, fantastical dimension. I kind of referenced Twilight Zone when I wrote that line, by the way. The non-spell is actually a breather non. It's really, really trivial. The first spell is fun. It's a timeout spell, and basically it's streaming around the screen. And while at first this may look like, you know, the hardest thing ever, it's actually really, really easy. Yeah, it's not really challenging at all in the slightest. All you gotta do is make sure you don't get too behind. But the lasers themselves are slow. Like, they're relatively slow, so they're hardly ever gonna catch up to you. So, yeah, there should be no problems there. I will admit that the second spell is a bit luck-based in the sense that if she spawns the bubbles in a really bad way, you're basically dead and can't really do anything about it. So, yeah. But just be careful. I'm making some pretty insane dodges here. I cannot believe that. And then the last spell is a lot like that Fuma spell from Book of Star Mythology, where there's a lot of different things going on at the same time. Basically, it's referencing like Double Black Death Butterfly and that one spiral spell from Phantasm. Also referencing the first spell, which is just Streaming Leaves. So it's basically combining 3 of Yukari's Phantasm spells into one. I'll bet they're lighter, of course. I mean, they'd have to be. There's also some lasers as well, which is supposed to reference some Mesh of Light and Darkness. Really, the only trick here is just to be patient and don't try to be too aggressive because you want to just take your time with it. And that was a perfect Yukari. I like it when I do well on Yukari. Now, yeah, I got 3 extents from her. You'll need those extents. Now, yes, this is the OSD. This part of the stage is where it gets awesome, because this is where you're going to see all your homages from, like, other Touhou games. And I'm really, really, like, happy that Eridum did that, because, like, as you can see here, this is SA. You know, you get to kind of witness all of the games, and, you know, it doesn't end here. Right now we're just getting Stage 6 references, which is really cool. Next it's going to be Moth, I'm pretty sure. Yes. So we get the Moth Stage 6. And then it's going to be 10 Desires, I'm pretty sure. Or DDC, one of the two. It was DDC, okay. But I know 10 Desires is coming up next. Yeah. So, yeah. Heaven is just one big homage. Yep, here's the 10 Desires section. And then the New A Ball section. Okay, so New A Ball... New A Ball's a bit ridiculous. But thankfully, if you have the Sanai spread... Oh, I actually could have had that there. That was just me not dodging. But if you have the Cobalt spread, then you should be fine on New A Ball, because the Cobalt spread is really, really useful. Again, I really, really recommend Sanai B for this stage, because she helps out a lot. I actually think New A Ball might not be possible with the focus forward shots, but there might be some kind of rooting, because I do believe this is static. And yeah, the thing is that you could compare this to like a Linen Absurdly Extra. I don't know if I'd go that far, but regardless of what you would think, you do get a ton of resources. So Heaven is actually a very, very doable clear. Very doable clear. It's not really a difficult stage at all. Well, it's got difficult patterns, but you get a lot of resources to make up for that. Now here is our boss. This is Zune. in Touhou form. I'm just gonna say that, and that what she's drinking is not beer. That's milk. So basically, the whole point behind her character is that she lives in her own dimension, which has been going towards like Gensokyo, and because of that, all these crazy things have been happening. So she's kind of like the real culprit of the incident, and she dreams about Gensokyo, and so basically this entire fight is going to be homage to every single final boss in Touhou, which is pretty cool. Of course, the very first attacks are going to be her own unique attacks, kind of like how Satori had her own unique attacks at the start. So yeah, this first non-spell is just going to be a unique non-spell for this character. I don't even know her name. It's like Mikami or something like that. Yeah, it's Mikami. Now, this spell here is really, really intense. I have captured it before and only once. I actually kind of like it. It's really interesting, to say the least. Although I kept getting pushed away. And yes, you could imagine that she's going to be invincible from bombs, of course. This is an extra stage thing. Well, part of the extra stage trilogy. All right. Oh, oh god. I forgot that this fires instantly. Whoops. Remelia time. Now, yes, it's all rainbow themed because colors. I don't know. So we get our Remelia non. Now we get the Remelia spell. Now, funny story. This is a spell which Eridum really likes, and a spell which I despise. But not. It's just funny. We tease each other about this spell all the time, especially during the playtesting. I don't actually know how to do it, but he had a really good strat for it. Now I'm gonna bomb here because I almost died. This non-spell I actually created. I told you earlier that there is an attack in this game that I personally created. It is this non-spell. This is my copyrighted non-spell. And it's actually, like, I'm pretty sure it's like 100% static from what I remember. So I don't think there's any RNG bullshit on this. So, yeah. But it's not like I play this stage every day, so of course I'm gonna get my ass kicked by my own pattern. This spell is a bit weird. It's kind of like don't stay in the same place every time because these things like to clutter up. It's more of a vision obscuring spell if anything, but you can get away with a lot of insane dodges on this attack as I'm proving here. Now, Sane B is kind of weak. So she takes forever to kill things, but I mean, I still recommend her because her ability to handle the stage is invaluable. Now we're gonna get into Kaguya. No, Aaron is not being showcased here, which is fine with me, because Aaron has this thing called Game of Rising, which I despise. Anyone who's been following my Twitter knows I despise that spell. The Kaguya spell card is the Kaguya spell card. It is the Kaguya spell card. It is the Kaguya spell card. And I just died to the Kaguya spell card. The reason I just repeated myself this whole time is because I actually don't really know what to say. I mean, a lot of these spells are pretty straightforward. They're not really about tricks. It's kind of like Mima, how they're basically just about dodging. So, as you can see here, this is Shikiyeki. She's using her, like, well, it's not Shikiyeki, but the boss is using the Shikiyeki patterns. Now, Shikieki's spell is actually really cool. So, you get walls, but the portal things actually give you gaps. It's actually not a really hard spell at all, but I'm just being clumsy because, yeah. You're actually not supposed to dodge in between, like, the hot dog things. So, you're supposed to macro everything. And actually, that's why this spell is so easy, because literally everything can be macroed. As long as you don't try to make any foolish micro dodges, you're basically assured to capture. Alright, now for Kanako. So the trick to this non is to listen for the restreaming. Use the sound effects to stream. And don't run into a laser while trying to restream like I did just there. Oh my god. Oh! I wasn't expecting that. Now the spell card actually reminds me more of LFS than anything, but it's supposed to be based off of Virtue of Wind God. I almost called it Divine Virtue of Wind God, but I'm not gonna let ZM brainwash me. As far as I know, it's not actually as static as it seems. There is variance, but I think you can just play this enough to like memo every combination, so I mean, there you go. Alright, the Utsuho Non. This one is really, really pretty. It's probably her easiest non-spell actually, but it just looks so pretty that it's okay with me. Like, look at those! Those are beautiful! Oh, this spell is actually really epic. So yeah, it's basically like this crazy like war thing going on with these suns. It's kind of like her double spoiler spell where like the suns are like kind of warring. So it's kind of like that, except it's a lot easier actually, and Sana AB can actually shotgun it really well. Now for the Byakuran things, this is an obvious reference to Byakuran's third non-spell. It's actually a lot easier than her third non-spell because the gaps are so big. Although she's got more health than Byakuran, so keep that in mind. And the spell card is one of the breathers in this fight. It's based off of Magic Butterfly. I just kind of got myself away from the boss, which was a mistake. But yeah, I'm being a bit too cautious here, but that's just because I don't want to waste my lives needlessly. Especially since I kind of... I said it was a breather, and it is, but like... I wasn't being very aggressive, so I tried to tone up the aggression and ended up paying the price. But again, Sana B is not the best damage dealer. But, this is obvious, obvious what this is referencing. Alright, now I hate the Miko spell, but I mean, it's pretty fair. I always hate things that make you go away from the center. But yeah, as you can see here, that's all it is. That's like literally the only surprise and twist. And I got hit by a stray ball. It actually aims a lot earlier than you might expect, so keep that in mind. Alright, now for the Shinmyomaru thing. It's basically her first non, with a little bit of her second non mixed in. But it's actually not that dangerous of a non-spell, because the gaps are actually pretty wide. It's more of an intimidation thing. The spell card is based on her last one, as you can see. If I recall, this spell is actually really trivial. I'm gonna die now that I said that. There we go. So right after Shinmyomaru, comes the Reimu section. Yeah, Reimu actually herself gets a section. Um, this non-spell is straightforward. Okay, the spell card is really easy, but I forgot which way I need to go first. I think it's left or right. I don't remember. Looks like I was right. I was right, okay. Ah! Rip. Now for Marissa's section. Now I'm gonna forewarn you that Sane actually doesn't get a section, sadly. But oh well. So Marissa's spell is actually pretty straightforward. You can do a nice Sane B shotgun on this spell, which I really like. You gotta be careful of the lasers and the stars. They're very random, as you can see right there. But I'm just gonna shotgun this and it should go down really quickly. Yes. Alright, now for a timeout spell. Well, this is cumulative timeout spell, the timeout spell of all timeout spells. It is possible to memorize this and not get yourself walled, but I have not memorized this because I am a bad playtester. I'm just gonna be honest there. I just didn't care enough to memorize this, truth be told. It can be completely memorized though. If you don't memorize it though, you're gonna get walled no matter what on that wave right there. It's like, yeah. Yeah, you can see where this is going. I don't even need to explain it. It's really cool because it has like everything. And I like that it has everything. It's like a giant reference to like every extra boss's timeout. You know. I'm Sherlock Holmes here. I was able to. Oh my god. What? Alright, and I wonder who could be coming next. Yep. However, that's not all. Eridum, the absolute madman, combined both of Sawaka's timeouts into one somehow. Like, I don't even know how this was possible, but as you can see, it is possible. And this part is actually more tolerable than both of Sawaka's timeout spells in Moth. Alright, the Koishi one. Oh, yeah, I don't have this memoed, so rip me. As I said before, this stage is not about perfecting, it's about enjoying the homages. Alright, and I got completely wrecked by the new A1 instantly. Rip me! I got scared there. I got scared there! I didn't know that was gonna come. Alright. Don't be another wave. Aww. Actually, it's not that bad. Alright, and now we have the Mamizo section. So, yeah, we didn't have the, sprites for the little animals or whatever, so we couldn't do the animal things there, but we do have cute little music note sprites for the Raiko section, which is nice. And the Katia section, yeah, it's just circular streaming. Alright, now for the final spell. I actually forgot what that name means, but this spell is just insanity. It's legitimate just insanity. That's all there is to it. Like, you'll see what I mean. You'll see what I mean, trust me. I'm doing a bit of shotgunning at the beginning just because I want to make sure I can take care of her life bar really well. Now you might be confused as to why I say this is legitimate insanity, and I'll show you why. Because on this wave, or no, it's not on this wave, is it? It's on a wave coming up with the final wave. You get butterflies. So it becomes really insane. Wait, what? What? Did I just capture this? Huh. I thought that spell was impossible. I actually captured it. Wow, that spell isn't actually that much insanity then, if you just do your restream right. Oh. What? Really? I'll take it. I'll take it, dude. I'll take it. I'll just take it. It's okay. I'm proud of that. That was an epic capture. Okay. And so, yes, we have completed Heaven Mode. And Mikami wants a souvenir from Gensokyo. She wants fairy dust, which is actually kind of morbid if you think about it, but that's exactly why I made that line, because it was funny. I don't know. Alright, so Heaven Mode actually gets its own ending. Listen to that. Alright, I didn't want to interrupt that beautiful rendition of the Zune theme. Yes, the ending theme is a really beautiful remix. Oh, there's me! Is a beautiful remix of the Zune theme. So yeah, that's Shattered Sky. Now, all in all, this game, which we like to call PNG Tree Game, affectionately though, not insultingly. I call it PNG Tree Game affectionately. It's got its faults. It's not perfect. But remember that, you know, the first fan game in that, you know, a team makes, it's never going to be perfect, you know? It's the experimental one. It's the one where you're starting to learn. Our team actually has a team now. It's Team Dreamcatcher, and you can find us on Twitter as well, which I'll link in the description. But Shattered Sky is Shattered Sky. It's got its faults. It's got its, you know, perks. It's got its cool things. But, you know, it doesn't need to be perfect. However, our next game, Servants of Harvest Wish, that game, we are going to be, you know, putting a lot more production value in that. Like, we've got like our own artist who's really talented, and you know, we've got all these new people on the team, and we're really excited about the development. We're really early in development though, so you know, like really early, so you know, don't expect any like demos or anything for a long time. However, I am happy to announce that that game is in its very early development. So, I am very excited, just as you guys are, for the future of Team Dreamcatcher and its games. This has been a very enjoyable Let's Play for me. And yeah, I think that's about all there is to say. I don't want to go back to the main menu because this song is just so beautiful that I just wanted to keep playing. Abner's really good. Really good. Now, I don't know if I'll be doing Uda mode or Last Words. There is a mode in this game called Uda mode, which is... it's kind of a joke difficulty. It's not really meant to be taken seriously. It's kind of like its own ultra mode or absurdly extra. It's just insanity, but like you get a ton of resources so you can just bomb spam through it. It's not really anything you should take seriously. It was just kind of a fun little joke to add in. And Last Words, I guess I could show them off, but there's so many of them, and I don't know if I want to dedicate an entire video to that. I might if enough people want to see it, but I haven't actually... I actually admittedly haven't captured all of them, although I know all of them are possible. But, yeah. What I'm going to be doing next for my channel, I'm not exactly sure yet. So we'll just have to see for whatever comes next. Thank you guys for watching. This has been an enjoyable experience.